Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. This is me, Private Hire Mike, and in today's video we are going to be discussing my top 5 tips as an Uber driver that I have learned in 5 years. I hope that these will help you guys. These are curated by myself and have helped me in the industry, which I've discovered myself. So let's go to the first slide. The first one is going to be knowing your market. This one is super important, and I feel like every business does this. And what it means in Uber driving is the following. Understanding your local area. So you want to familiarize yourself with the area that you work in. Every driver has an area which they feel comfortable with. That's usually their local neighborhood. That's usually where they start off, because as soon as you get in the car, you usually start where you live. So familiarizing yourself with your key places and common route requests can really help. Identifying the kind of clientele that you get in your area. So if you live in a business district, you'll get more executive people and they might be going to the airport. If you live in a uni town, you might be getting a lot of students, and that might be a lot of local jobs. You might even live near the city, and in the night time you might be getting a lot of requests to nightclubs and various other places. Also, understanding the peak hours. This can help you to maximize your earnings and also just avoid traffic. So in my area, I tend to know when it's going to be busy in terms of the traffic, and I'll also know times where it's a bit more quiet, and those are the times that I usually like to work. The next one is going to be keeping track of your expenses. This one is super important, and it is something that you should do from the day one of starting. And what you can do, in fact, to help you out with this is using a sole credit card or a debit card to keep all of your driving related expenses in one place. And at the end of the year, when you do your tax return, you'll just have it all in one file rather than having to look through multiple credit card, debit card statements, those type of things. You also want to make sure that any receipts that you have, keep those organized. Last thing you want to do is at the end of the year, again, be looking for where your receipts are for all the fuel that you've spent. So what I do is have a small folder and a shoebox where I put all of them. And another thing is, by knowing your expenses, you can understand your profits. So if you make £1,000 per week and you spend £400 on expenses, then it's obvious that your profit is going to be £600. And the other thing is, it gives you a financial insight into what you're spending on a regular basis, which can help you budget and plan ahead. So I found out that I was spending a lot of money on food out. So I thought to myself, do you know what? This is costing me a lot in expenses. I'm going to come back a little bit and spend less money on, say, coffee and sandwiches. Next one is going to be setting a routine. Setting a routine, I feel, is super important, because when you have a routine, you have more consistency. So try to establish some driving hours that you would like to do. For me, I tend to work from 7 in the evening till about 1 o'clock at night. And sometimes this may vary, but I feel like once drivers get into this industry, they'll have a routine that they'll like to stick by. And this will help you balance work life. It's easy sometimes in this job to do more hours than you should, or to work on days where you would like to have off because of fear of missing out. You really want to maximize your earnings, but having a routine will help you stay consistent. And another thing is, it will help you avoid burnout. And it also sets a solid habit. It gets you into a regular flow of knowing when to work, and you can always readjust this if need be. The next one, and this one is super important, guys, and that is to stay healthy. As you know, being an Uber driver or any other driver in the taxi industry, you're going to be sitting down for many hours per day. And science has told us that this is not healthy. Sitting down for long periods of time can cause all kinds of health problems. Now, I'm not a medical professional, but I know that it's not great for your circulation, number one. It can also lead to diabetes. And what you want to do is, even if you don't exercise much, you want to at least get out of your car every hour and stretch. If you want to go a little bit more, maybe go to the gym 3 times a week like I do myself, or before you start working, do some stretches. Also, make sure to take regular breaks. Every hour, take 5 minutes to walk around the car, maybe just to check what's going on inside the car, make sure there's nothing being left behind. Use it as an opportunity to get out and stretch. That will keep your blood flowing. Also, Eating healthy, another thing, avoid junk food if you can. Try to keep some water in your car and some nuts, healthy snacks. Another thing that we do in this job is we tend to eat junk food, and that's because we're out on the roads. We might not necessarily be able to go back home and eat, and then what we'll end up doing is going to a Mackie D's, a Burger King, a kebab shop, and then we can start to do that on a daily, and again that compounds over time and can be a very unhealthy habit. And also mental health. Be mindful of overwhelm, burnout and stress. Driving is a very stressful job. Your mind is doing thousands of calculations per day. You're dealing with loads of different customers. You might be driving through traffic. This can have a strain on your mental health. So it is important to be mindful. If you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling stressed, maybe take a couple of days off, relax, do some meditation, do some deep breathing, but be mindful of this because burnout is a real thing and it is very common amongst drivers. This one as well is important. Be aware of tax, be aware of it. We all know that as an Uber driver, we are responsible for dealing with our own tax. So the first thing that you want to do if you're just starting out is obviously register as a sole trader. You can do this on the government website and you'll get a unique tax reference number. And this is what you'll be using to file your taxes in the future. Also, save for your tax return. This is another great tip and it's very important, is save money for your tax. Dedicate a portion of your weekly earnings to put towards your yearly tax bill, whether it's 10% or 20%. There's a good rule of thumb, usually 10 or 20%. And that way, at the end of the year, you're not then trying to earn the money to pay your tax, because what this will do is it will add extra workload and you'll become very stressed and it's a negative cycle. I'd also say to consider an accountant, number one, because they have a lot of knowledge in the industry and can help you offset certain things against your tax bill. Another great reason is it saves you time so you can earn more money. And the third thing as well is it's an offsettable expense. So for example, if you have your tax return coming, an accountant is an expense that you can use. And education is key here. So take time to understand how tax works, understand tax thresholds, what you can offset against your tax bill, and this will help you become more profitable as a driver. And here is the bonus tip, guys, and this is probably one of my favorites and probably the number one thing I've learned through my 5 years of driving for Uber, and that is no 2 days are the same. Exactly right, no 2 days are the same. So what do I mean by this? Well, as we all know, when we start driving for Uber, we soon realize that one day is not like the one before. Each day we are going to have different job requests. We are going to earn money quicker than others. We are going to meet a variety of different customers. We are going to experience different challenges. With all that being said, it is important to keep a positive mindset. So starting each new shift with a positive outlook and reflect and learn from daily experiences. In this job as well, you need to learn to adapt. You can't just have a fixed mind. You're going to realize that sometimes days can vary. One Friday could be better than another Friday. One Monday could be busy. Another Monday could be very quiet. So have this ability to adapt. Areas can also change or become less lucrative due to more drivers or different social or economical factors. So embrace that variety and try to stay flexible. And last but not least, going with the flow. Myself, I'm a bit of a spiritual person, so I believe in allowing things to be. And sometimes when we are less trying to fight, with the app and try to control it, allow things to go with the flow, meaning by as long as the job makes sense, accept it and then see where that job takes you, because one job connects to another. So with me, I have a mileage rate that I stick to and a rating, and providing that criteria is met, I accept that job, and whatever other area I end up in, I see where the next job takes me. And this is actually quite a fun experience. And to finish off the video, guys, one of my favorite quotes that I've heard in this industry from a few taxi drivers, and that is, it's not how you start, it is how you finish. This really resonates with me. We've all seen that in different shifts, we'll have daily variations of earnings. Some days you might earn more money quickly at the start of your shift, while other days it may take longer to reach a good earning level. The key is to focus on the total earnings by the end of the shift rather than getting discouraged if the beginning is slow. Another thing is persistence will pay off. So even if the start of your shift is slow and you haven't made much money, staying persistent and continuing to work throughout the shift can lead to higher earnings overall. There may be periods later on in the day where demand increases, leading to better earnings. And long-term perspective, like for myself, I always look at it as I'm going to do my 8 hours, my 10 hours, whatever I've earned in that time is what I've earned. I don't try to get too blindsided by having a great start to the shift or getting discouraged by having a slow start. I just commit to my hours and keep it as that. And I find that way has the most consistency for me and reliability. So I hope this video has helped you guys. Let me know down below in the comment section below what is your favorite tip in this video, and if you have any yourself, please feel free to share them. Like the video if you found it helpful, and also consider subscribing here if you're new to the channel, and I'll see you in another video from myself, Private Hire Mike. Have a great day.